We're here with Mark Shepheard, who is one of this month's 2 exhibiting artists. The show will open on July 15th and run through August 9th. It's called Seasonal Shift. We have rehearsed this, but you know, some of us have weak brains. And they're absolutely wonderful pieces. So I'm going to let Mark talk a little bit about his background, and then we're going to talk about some specific.
Thank you, Nancy. So I'm Mark Shepheard. I've been an artist for all of my life, but I started drawing as a kid, and drawing has always been my passion. I went to Virginia Commonwealth University, but studied metalsmithing and jewelry design, and then moved on into 2 other things. I've been a interior designer. I've also been a metalsmith. I think I just repeated that.
That's okay.
And a hairdresser, as of now. So I started working in Richmond, Virginia, after I had graduated from VCU. Had some time away from Richmond, and I started taking classes at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts in painting and printmaking, predominantly printmaking and monotypes. Then I developed more into some bookbinding and writing, so always lots of interest going on. Then 20 years ago I moved to Roanoke and started working with the studio school. Vera Dixon and Tracy Budd and Nancy Stark and so on. So I took a lot of painting classes with them. I've taught a little bit. I drive the van for the troops that go off to Scotland and Ireland, and
Maine.
And I have, and Maine, yes, in Maine, and I do love all those rocky coasts and wonderful people. So that is a lot of inspiration for the work here. Comes from.
Mark, tell me about Bumper, the bumper car piece.
Bumper came from a trip to Ireland. There was a music festival going on. We listened to the Ellen pipes and bagpipes and so on. But outside there was this wonderful orange and red tent with light shining through it, and the bumper cars were there. So it's a very colorful piece.
I love it. It's so big and bright and happy.
It's so big and bright, yes. But I love drawing people, and this is, you know, sometimes I'd throw some abstraction at it and faces and the light coming from behind. There was a previous painting on it that comes through in some of these others that shine through a bit and give it this, it's kind of a stained glass feel to it.
It is. I love the 2 little stained glass through the other side, from the other side heads.
The silhouettes.
The silhouettes, because that happens in a tent.
Yes, it does. It does. But I love all the bright, colorful reflections in that one. Right, so this piece is called the Rapeseed Fields, and traveling in Scotland on those often gray days, purple skies, gray skies, and quite lovely blue skies from time to time, we'd see these beautiful fields of rapeseed. This one I was fascinated for a couple of reasons, I was on a train when I did this one, so it's a video that I've amalgamated, but I love the tractor tracks through the fields, and then I love the 2 different types of electricity going on, the old and the new. Okay, so this painting is a sight that I saw leaving after a very early morning, getting up at Stornoway and driving through Harris and Lewis to the Tarbert Ferry, and I got out of the van and started wandering around. There was these beautiful clouds and coming through, and I love the reflections through the water and the sunshine on the side of the Calmac Ferry. But I also love the abstract quality of these big concrete barriers and some of the things that happen in the water level here. Now we're in my watercolors. I'm moving to Scotland, and I've been there many times on the beaches recently, walking through the pebbles, looking at for sea glass and sea life and so on. And these relate to that. These are the pebbles. I just laid down some water in pebble shapes and started dipping some color in it, and they come to life as I start to just move the color around. Some of these are abstractions. This one's called Drying in the Sun. Just the sea life that's lying there and outside the tide.
Hi, I'm here with Mallory Nicely Thompson, who is the daughter of Kathy Nicely, who for many years was a middle school teacher at Clifton Middle School and just did a wonderful job with the kids. And Kathy's been gone for 25 years, but Mallory and I have been talking, and so we decided that it was time to do a sort of remembrance of Kathy. And there's a whole variety of things, both from her student days and her days as teacher. So there's a pretty good span of her life's work. Mallory, do you have a favorite?
I have two favorites. One of them would be the Tapestry of Life that I believe she created when she was at Madison College, which is now JMU, and also the Shriner portrait that she did, Editorial Without Words. So I hope I'm saying this right. The Editorial Without Words is based on a 1970 photograph. Shriners have always been a big part of our family. My grandfather was a Shriner. My dad and my husband are currently Shriners. They are known for raising money for children with a multitude of needs. So this photo, there was a photo, and my mother painted this for the Clifton Forge Shrine Club, and it has been hanging there since she painted it and since they opened in the 80s.
Tell us a little bit about this Tapestry of Life, this wonderful red abstract flow with a strong black mat.
So this is our entire family's favorite piece. When Mom was at Madison College, her professor gave her one rule, and that was you can use any medium, just represent birth to death. So Mom created this, and she named it the Tapestry of Life. We treasure it.
Really a nice piece. One of my other favorites is this piece of metal sculpture called The Wave. I love it because I love rusted metal. I think it has such character, but she's made it into something magical and entirely non-metallic. So where did this come from?
Mom grew up in Hampton, Virginia, which is where she went to school until Madison. Her brother, one of her three brothers, had this in the building. I didn't even know it existed until the show. So it really is, a testament to her childhood on the beach.
Neat. Really. One of the other sculpture pieces that I really like is this little praying mantis. We talked in The Wave about how she liked rough and not highly refined metals. But I love the fact that this little praying mantis has two of the brightest brass eyes I've ever seen. And he just looks like if you walk past carefully and slowly and don't disturb him, he's going to jump off that pedestal and ride on your shoulder. I've become very fond of him.
It's one of our family's favorites. We thought we had lost it because one of the family members had it and he wasn't sure which one of his friends had borrowed it or kept it for him. But it really is interesting because it's got so much to the hand. It's not just a hand. You can see like the tendons and the veins and everything coming out of the end of it. So it's just a really interesting piece that was well thought out. And if you're not paying attention, you wouldn't notice that.
Well, and I'm usually really bug phobic. So the fact that I like this sort of surprised me.